We are back in the supercar street racing living room right here, as you can see. And after a short vacation, we did come back to go ahead and get to work. We did take a whole week off to go take care of some business, but we are back in full force now. And we need to take care of a problem with the supercar street racing editing setup, and that is located directly behind me right here in our D-Mark. Now right here is where everything comes into the SCSR compound, and you can see right here we have our Eero 6 Pro. That does feed a Netgear switch down below right here, and connected to that we do have our Asus Store NAS here. Now our Asus Store NAS does have two 2.5 gig ports on it. The editing machines in here have 2.5 gig ports as well. So what we want to do right here and right now is leverage a way to get more data from our NAS to both of our editing suites. Now one of those editing suites is located just on the other side of the wall here, and then the other one is out in the SCSR 4K production studio. So today we're going to show you guys how to get 2.5 gig from this Asus Store NAS all the way to our studio out there, and then right on the other side of the wall right here. And we're going to do that next, so thanks for joining us. Guys, you got Brad here, and you are on Supercar Street Racing, and if this is your first time on the channel, I would love to welcome you, and I hope that you would like and subscribe. And today we have a mission, and that is to figure out our bandwidth issues on our editing rigs. Now both of our editing rigs are working off this Asus Store NAS here that's sitting so fresh and fly underneath our little entertainment console right here. That Asus Store NAS is connected to our Netgear 1 gig switch, and that distributes everything to the house and the studio. Now the problem, of course, is that the Netgear down there only does 1 gig, where the Asus Store and the computers all do 2.5 gig. So in order to alleviate some data congestion issues, we're gonna go ahead and upgrade this whole thing to 2.5 gig Ethernet. Now all you need for 2.5 gig Ethernet is a Cat 6 cable, and in some cases a Cat 5e could do it as well. We do have Cat 6 running all the way out to the studio out there, and then also to the next room right here. So it should be pretty easy. All we should have to do is implement some sort of switch that can support 2.5 gig for our Asus Store and our two computers. Adding to the complication though is the fact that out in the studio we do have another large 1 gig switch feeding almost everything in the studio. So we'll have to figure that out once we get out there. But let's start up here. Let's get our new switches unboxed from Ubiquiti. Back in the Supercar Street Racing awesome living room here, and right behind me we have a solution for your 2.5 gigahertz needs, and it is a low-cost solution as well from a high-quality manufacturer. So sitting right here behind me in these three boxes, we do have the Unify 2.5 gig switches. These guys are 5 ports, and that's all we need, because all we have to do really is supply 2 machines and 1 NAS, 5 gig. Everything else will be 1 gig, including the internet. So our mission is quite simple today. We're gonna get these things unboxed, get them set up via the app on the phone, and see what we have to do to upgrade our entire system here to 2.5 gigahertz networking. Right in front of me is this Cinema 70S from Marantz, and it is so happy to be joined by this nice Ubiquiti switch, and you can see right here at the bottom, this is a Flex 2.5G switch here. And there is a nice little pull thing here to get the Flex out of the box, like that. And there we go. So the 2.5 gig Flex from Ubiquiti is officially getting unboxed. And you can see right here they have the website for Ubiquiti, and there is an installation guide via a QR code scan right there. And inside of the box there should be an Ubiquiti switch, and there is the Flex 2.5G switch. Very simple, no complaints online about overheating like the other cheap, dumb 2.5 gig switches from China or elsewhere. And then also they were kind enough to give us a power brick. This thing does use USB-C 5-volt power. Let's get that out of the box. Here's a look at the actual box for the Flex 2.5G switch, and inside of that box there we do have a little USB power supply of 5 volts, assuming any 5 volt will work. And there is also an instruction manual in here, which we probably won't really need. So what we now have to do is figure out power, because we have used up all the power here, but we don't need this NAS anymore. So I think I'm going to end up removing my old Mybook Live NAS finally, because we replace it with this modern solid state Asus Store NAS. Let's get this WD Mybook Live removed from the Supercar Street Racing abode. Okay, we did get the cat cable unplugged there. All we really need to do now is get the power unplugged from behind here, and it is this little tiny power cable right here. All right, I gotta cut some zip ties here to get this out. Let's go ahead and do that to free up some power for our new switch. I did just get this old power supply out. So we freed up a plug for the new switch. It has this tiny brick right here. And all we have to do right here and right now is plug this guy in. Or we could use a USB-C to USB-A adapter, because we have ports on our power strip right there. But let's just go ahead and for now, we'll come back and clean the wiring up later. For now, we're just gonna feed this into our switch bay here, where we're gonna put our 2.5G switch. We fed it right there. And then moving down here, we should be able just to get our switch connected right here. Our cable modem is back online after we removed it from service. We just have to make sure now that we have Cat 6 cables between everything. So we already have cables from our NAS going to our standard switch. We're gonna move those to our new switch. All right, let's get prepped to do that now. All right, this NAS has 2 ports on it. They are both connected, 11. 11 and 14 are the NAS ports, 14, 13, 12, 11. So we're gonna take 14 and 11 out and put them on the new 2.5 gig switch by Ubiquiti. Here is the nice Flex 2.5. We're gonna go ahead and apply power to it. And to do that, you simply plug in the USB-C cable in the back, just like this. This thing is powered. You can see the light. It's booting up right here now. That light flashing indicates that. Now it will not be able to, I don't know if it'll be able to update through the phone. Let's let it get boot up and see if we can find it first, and then we'll go from there. For that, we need the phone. Okay, we are recording on the phone now here, as you can see, and also on the GoPro. We have our Unify switch up here. I want to see if it can find the switch without connecting to any sort of LAN. So I'm gonna hit the plus button here. It says it is searching for devices. It's not gonna find the device, I don't think. Nope. It's not gonna find it because it's going to use, it doesn't use Bluetooth. Okay, we've got a hopefully Cat 6 cable here to connect to our switch. This is not the final configuration, but this will give the Unify access to the switch. We do have a link here on the Unify switch here. It is connected. Let's go ahead and see if we can go ahead and discover this now. All right, it did find the Flex switch here. Cool. Switch is there. Okay, we do have our switch sitting here. I was not able to do anything on the app. I'll look into that in a few minutes, but we can go ahead and continue setup. Now, what we want to do right here and right now is go ahead and connect the NAS to this guy, and then also our studio and our cable that goes into the other room. So we did say that our NAS is right here and right here, these two. Let's remove those. It's going to kill our live stream. Now, these two guys go to our NAS, right? They should be Cat 6 cables. What we want to do here is go ahead and give them 2.5 gig here. That one did link, and this one did link, I am sure. Let's see. It did. Okay, cool. Our NAS is now connected to 2.5 gig. Now we have to give everything else that needs 2.5 gig a connection to this. One of them goes to that room, and we're going to connect it right now. Okay, this cable right here that comes from the other room that says studio, hopefully it is a Cat 6 cable. It does come right through here. It is a gray cable. It is then right here. That needs 2.5. We're going to go ahead and unplug it from that switch, give it 2.5. This is going to send 2.5 to the studio. Let's see if it links. It did link. We got one more to send. We got to send the one to the other room that is our office, 2.5 gig. Let's go ahead and do that now. This one is right here. This might not be a 2.5 gig cable. It's this last one right here. We're gonna plug it into this switch and see if that provides, it might not be a Cat 6 cable, so we might have to troubleshoot these connections after we get them. They are all linked. We are now sending 2.5G everywhere. Let's go check our live stream and see if it did fail. Right in front of the Supercar Street Racing editing rig here, and it is still up, so that's good news. We have another 1 gig switch here that feeds these two laptops. We're gonna go ahead and replace this switch with the Ubiquiti as well. This stuff is tied up really nice, so I will have to come back through and do some cable management, but let's go ahead and get this switch replaced with another Ubiquiti 2.5G switch right now. We're unboxing our second Ubiquiti switch here, after which we need to figure out the software. So if you want to power this with 5 volts, you can get a USB-C, a USB-A, and just power it from any USB connector. Let's go ahead and disable this by unplugging all of these. Now we should have lost hardwire to everything in the room. Everything is off, yes, correct. So we can get this switch wired up now. We do have a power strip under here. It does not have USB, but let's get our switch up here and wired up. We are removing this old Netgear 1 gig switch right here. All we have to do is power it down with that. We have a rogue zip tie right here we need to cut. But here's our new power compared to the old one. Let's go ahead and get our switch. Now we do have also a cable from here to the wall. If we have 2.5G problems, we will have to go investigate that as well. This is a rear mount switch, completely different from the other one. Now, unfortunately, we're gonna see the power cable right next to it like that. Now, let's get our scissors and cut off this dumb rogue zip tie. Now, connecting our new switch should be as easy as just plugging in our cables here and making sure that they are Cat 6 capable cables. Let's see if we get a link. We do. So that was the one that comes from the wall. I think everything is linked. I'm looking at my actual computers now to see if I have any issues with links. First signs of life from 2.5 gig are showing up right there. We have a 2.5 gig connection to our editing machine here, and these will only do 1 gig. Both these laptops are only going to do 1 gig, so that's just that. We went ahead and downloaded the Unify Windows server here and downloaded it to this local machine and set it up. A long story short, I did figure out how to set the local server up on the network, and you can see right here we have both of the switches that are currently on. They are onboarded onto it's actually called adopted onto my local server here with the Unify hosted at localhost 8443. It did update the firmware on both of the switches. The one that's in here in the office, you can see it uplink at 2.5G. That's the one that's supplying to this computer, and this computer is linked at 2.5 gig. If you go into the network settings here, you can see right there it is linked at 2.5 gig. Now all we have to do is get out to the studio and go ahead and set up this last switch here, which will require some rewiring out there. Let's go ahead and get that done. Out here in the Supercar Street Racing studio now, and we only have one thing that needs to be connected to 2.5 gig out here, and that is my editing PC. Now this presents a challenge simply because of the wiring inside the wall. We only have two places where we can get network for this. One of them feeds this switch here. So what we're gonna do is put the 2.5 gig switch up here. We're gonna take our feed from the house. We're gonna back feed that switch and then feed one of my LAN connections to this guy down here. There isn't anything close to it except the one down here that feeds the switch. There's only one connection down here on 11, so I can't use that one. It feeds my switch. And there is one down here that feeds the other PC, so I am gonna end up using this one down here and just tucking the wire behind the wall right there. Hopefully I have enough Cat 6 cables. I may not, I may have to steal some. Let's see what we got. I labeled all these from the switch, so basically all we need to do right here is plug into port 4, run it over to the PC, and then patch in our switch up there and see if this is a Cat 6 cable. Our next job is to plug in our switch up here. Let's get our switch up at the very top. We're gonna put it up there where all our other network gear is, and hopefully we have one plug. Okay, our switch is powered up right there. I need to go ahead and find a short patch cable. I'm gonna run inside and see what I have now. Okay, after a little bit of easy troubleshooting, I did figure out that the label is completely wrong on one side or the other. It says 10 on this side, and on this side it says 4, which I'm completely confused about. I wouldn't usually get that wrong. I don't have a label on this one up here, so I'm not sure, and I don't know what that one is, so something is just off on my labeling. I don't need to worry about patch cords because, as you can see right there, we are connected at 2.5 to the network now, so that part is done. We should be able to walk inside now and see everything connected, at least this switch connected at 2.5 gig. Let's go check it out. Now we are in here at our server manager. Let's go see, and yes, looks like in fact we are connected to the main switch at 2.5 gig. So yeah, so we have a 2.5 network going here. Now the only thing that is not 2.5 gig is from the internet, because the Eero only has one 2.5 gig port, and it is the WAN port. You cannot use both. All I have to do right here and right now is get some zip ties and start cleaning up this mess that I created right here. So let's grab those and start working. Final check here, we do have a 2.5 gig link here now in the studio, so we are connected to our NAS at 2.5 gig. Supposedly that should be a way better editing experience and copying files back and forth over to our backup device. Now let's wrap it up here, get together again and talk about this Ubiquiti 2.5 gig flex. All right, I just wanted to get back together with you guys and end the video here by showing you the Ubiquiti Flex Mini 2.5G on Amazon. There will be a link in the description to this guy. Please make sure you like and subscribe and order all your affiliate links through our official links on the bottom of the video here. And you can see it does have 5 stars. Only one person has rated it. It is way cheaper on Ubiquiti's site, but since I have an Amazon affiliate program, I am going to put this one here. Doesn't look like you can order it, but I'm going to put a link to it anyway and let you guys go from there. And checking out some of the pictures, there is the 2.5 gig ports there, but this one has PoE actually, the right hand port, and you can see the USB-C input right there. There's the dimensions, 21 by 90 by 117, and you can see right there it absolutely does come with a power supply, and even if it doesn't, you can use USB-C. There's a good picture of it connected up to all 5 ports. Another picture of it, and then also you can see here them connecting computers to it and another switch. And then there's a good little network diagram about how you can actually hook yours up as well. So guys, thank you for watching. Go ahead and pick up a switch and click through our official links, like and subscribe. We need all the help we can get, and we will see you on the next one. We got a couple of bangers coming up. Stay tuned.